I just wanted to jump into the stream to camera beforehand. I'm not going to be appearing on camera after this, but it seemed a little irresponsible to have like even a very modest platform and not mention what's going on in the world right now, as far as Minnesota is concerned. I think I speak for all of Psychic Dolphin Garage in saying that we are very supportive of the protesters protesting the murder of George Floyd, and we just want everyone to know that this stream isn't supposed to be like a distraction, but instead a little bit of self-care. If you've kind of been bombarded a lot with some pretty devastating news, because a lot of it has been, you're welcome to come over here and hang out and just relax for a little bit. We're not gonna completely avoid politics, but if you're feeling a little stressed out from all of the news, we're gonna hopefully keep it to a minimum, but we're always gonna make sure that we have the protesters in mind and justice. Does anyone else want to say anything?
Hell yeah.
Here, here. Well put.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore what's happening, but I mean, it's good to not just be ingesting protest news every second of the day for the next week, hopefully week.
That's just exhausting, and you can better serve others when you take just a couple moments to kind of hone yourself in, I think.
Yeah. Obviously, I was in the Dumb and Awful Discord, and they were talking about how it takes like 25, people behind the scenes to to support like one frontline person, making sure that they're providing food to the front lines and all this stuff, and not everybody is gonna be a body out on the streets over the next week. Some of us are just playing some Animal Crossing because Animal Crossing is fun.
Right. It sure is, let me tell you.
Yeah. And even if you, I don't know, I'd be nice to feel like I'm doing something, but we have done something. We've reached out to other people. We've built communities that are communing as they do, and so having infrastructure at every point of what our ideal community would be, having infrastructure for people that need to unplug a little bit. You're watching a stream of cops trying to shut down a street. You can switch over and watch a stream of us just having fun. So,
bunch of queer people talking about vaporwave music and Animal Crossing.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it feels amazing to look back at things like the Riot Unicorn stream and all of the people in front of the police station, the hollow shell of a police station. Or getting to see like JJ getting messages about people that were playing his music. Oh man, that is very nice to read.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how awesome it would be to be out at a protest and hear your own music or hear music of artists that we know and that we want to help
and
help each other.
I think that's a good enough note to just go ahead and start our stream proper, so you can just come over here and relax, and we can finally see the debut of DATAGIRL's Island.
Yay!
Alright.
Oh my gosh, the debut of my half-assed, half-finished, scary-looking
Girl,
place.
I would never even put mine on the internet. I haven't touched it.
I've been running
long.
around like trying to make it look decent for the stream.
Right.
Okay. So my house is completely unfinished. I have a little like the goal is to make all of my rooms bathrooms.
So like just differently
Uh-huh.
decorated bathrooms. That's cool.
Right. I'm waiting for but right now there's nothing. They're all empty. Except for
Hello, Stark Raven.
Well, okay, so I had 2 points of inspiration. One was the Eagle, which is a gay leather bar here in, well, it's like a franchise, but that was one of the inspirations, so that one's gonna be my basement bathroom. But DATAGIRL, you actually posted a picture of someone's like really like very like awe-inspiring bathroom. Like it was
Yeah.
their like Animal Crossing, like had like statues of David and things like that. I was like, oh, this is amazing. So
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
but we're gonna go upstairs because this is the interview room. I tried to make it look as vaporwave as possible.
Oh
Or
my
I
God.
said,
This is so cute. Are you kidding
So
me?
you can go ahead
Oh,
and have a
I
seat.
love it. Okay, I'm taking pictures. Taking all the pictures.
Oh yeah, please do.
This is wonderful.
The cat picture.
yeah.
Big fan of that.
Yeah, the cat picture's
Oops.
great,
Get back in the chair.
but
Back in the chair.
this is DATAGIRL's album art for Heaven Cry.
That is amazing. I am literally shook right now. That's
Mhm.
so good.
Amongst and if you any really eagle-eyed viewers will notice this piece up in the corner that you can't really see. I'm trying to get into the camera, but you can't really see. This one right here in the top right, that is a still from my vaporwave video, or my Politics of Vaporwave video.
Oh my gosh, it is. That's so good.
And then two
I love it.
burning American flags. One regular American flag and one thin blue line flag, because fuck cops.
There we go.
I don't think that's not a controversial statement here on this stream.
No.
Fuck cops.
Can't come to this house unless you can say a cab.
Uh-huh. You come to this stream because you don't fucking like cops. But you love Animal Crossing. Alright, so DATAGIRL, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
I know that
This
I'm
is
really
The
excited.
coolest thing ever.
I was like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be such a
Taking
great
Pictures.
it's a great opportunity because
Oh my gosh.
one, you are an anonymous musician, or
Yes.
musician, DJ, all these other things. But two, you love Animal Crossing, so what a perfect way to get you get an interview with you. Let's do cinema mode. Okay, now Redemption is playing, but I want to talk a little bit more about not just but like the entire album. So I didn't really get to talk to you at the time, like kind of where the inspiration behind this album came from.
Yeah, I mean it came from a lot of places. It started as when I started making the album, you know, I had stopped being as active in the house music scene. I had stopped DJing as much. I'd become a little bit more of a shut-in, I guess. Just wasn't going out a lot, and was feeling generally uninspired until I started working on these tracks. And first I made the 2 tracks that sample Oya Yellow, the choral composer. So first I made Gloriosa and Pulchra S, and then I was like, wow, these are fun. Those are fun to make. I liked that. Maybe I should try and make an album out of it. And then it kind of slowly became a reflection on a lot of things, you know, that have, I guess, made me the person I am now. One of those things being choral performance, and another thing, of course, being queerness and like growing up in a religious environment in a more conservative area and coming to terms with all that and unlearning a lot of the things that were instilled in me, you know, being brought up in that kind of environment. So it was a lot. It was a whole heck of a lot of stuff in there.
I was gonna ask you about
yeah.
like your I was gonna say your affliction, your queerness.
My
like-
affliction.
I like to joke about that because I had to go through a conversion therapy. We talked about it before on stream, but it's cool. It's cool. Everything's fine, I swear. But so I like to joke. But I was gonna say not just this album, but your 3D art that you create is very very gay.
Yeah, is it? Are you sure? Are you sure? Maybe. I guess.
I think you're really into I think if one were to look at it, they could see that behind quite a bit of the messaging is just the female form itself, and I'm putting female in quotes here because I'm talking about in an art sense. Like females can look
Right.
like a bajillion different ways. But we're talking about your like Venus statues and stuff like that.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, just like bodies as art is like a really big thing for me, for sure. And like it's been really nice being able to explore that in 3D art and being able to just kind of like throw weird like glossy textures and make them look like alien people and like you know what I mean, like just kind of exploring interesting, like not transhumanism but also almost like a cyberpunk side to it as well.
Okay, yeah, that's really cool. So your aesthetic, God, I fucking hate that word now.
It's aesthetic.
Aesthetics. Vaporwave is kind of built around the aesthetic, and you yourself have one. Is there any particular reason why you kind of shy towards like these pinks and magentas and more pastel colors compared to some other folks who kind of go into more like not necessarily dark, but like darker colors, like more on the cool side? You like to have yours a bit more warm, a little bit more saturated.
Yeah, I really love the palette. Is kind of like, it's like a sherbet palette. It's like sherbet colors. So it's like very intense, like peaches, like really nice kind of like cobalt blue, like all those kinds of colors are really just like, they're just satisfying to me. They make me feel good. I really like heavy saturation. That's such a weird thing to say. I love heavy saturation.
Getting it nice and soaked.
Just give me that saturation. But yeah, that's I'm just comforted by them. They make my brain feel good.
they're very great to look at too. I always love looking at your art. You recently did stuff for Aqua Blanca even.
That was a really fun one. That one was more of a muted color palette even than I usually go for, but I was really trying to capture the essence of their original art that they used, which is it's like, it almost looks like an oil painting, and it had kind of that same sort of palette to it, a little bit less vibrant.
So, but
I was happy with how it came out. Sorry, go on.
No, it was really good. So you are part of a label / collective, Pacific Plaza Records, helmed by the pretty well known, at least in the area, the Orange County area, Alex, otherwise known as Trucks Passing Trucks. How did that relationship sort of work out? Did you approach Alex, or did Alex approach you?
So, in the first place, so it's interesting because we have run in similar circles in the music scene in Orange County for a while before connecting, like for vaporwave stuff. And initially, I was just sending him my album, and I, found out about Pacific Plaza because I was getting into the scene, and I was like, oh, cool! Like, there's actually a record label that is local to me. Like, this is awesome. And so, it was initially me reaching out to him via email and submitting my album. And then when that eventually came out, and when we connected more, and like he understood more about my background as a DJ and event promoter, he asked me to come on and start doing virtual memory with him. And now we're doing virtual memory 10 tomorrow night. So that's exciting.
It's very exciting. I've been to every single one.
Isn't that wild? I know you have.
Crazy.
Oh man! And did you see her on the flyer?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. I was so excited.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we're now at Virtual Memory 10. The first time that we met was at Tape Swap and Chill 2, back in October or November now. I don't remember.
I think it was October.
Yeah.
It was October. Yeah.
I was really still like trying to figure out my own little YouTube channel. So many things went wrong that day for me. But I was like, you know what? I got to head out to LA. I said I would, and I got to interview you and Alex and Frank JFC, and I've now been kind of like in the scene, and I've loved watching this little project of both of yours sort of grow. There's not really a lot of vaporwave spaces outside of the internet, and like right now you all are kind of forced to be on the internet, but
Right.
Yes. It's not like it's an uncommon place for vaporwave, but how is it to sort of bring an extremely online genre to people?
It's really interesting. I mean, because all of the shows I've been involved in promoting before Virtual Memory, it's just been regular club nights, just like local house shows, and like when it's an online genre coming to like IRL, it's different because you're not, you attract people of all kinds. Like, as we've seen, vaporwave has all kinds of fun fans out there that like to say things that are really fucking annoying,
right?
And do things that are really fucked up. So it's like, for me, in the beginning I was like, okay, like how is this gonna go? Like are people gonna be weird? Is weird stuff gonna happen? But so far, I mean, all of my experiences with Virtual Memory IRL have been nothing short of amazing. Like, it's made me connect with people like you, and like I get to hang out with you all the time, and like I've just made all these friends. It's like it's been really wholesome.
Right. I feel like we would have never like if it weren't for Alex's very like kind of long history in the music scene in the LA and OC area, I don't think even like Tape Swap would have happened. And then we would have
You're
never,
completely correct.
we would have never met folks like our very good friend Groovy Kaiju, Aaron.
Oh my gosh, seriously, I can't even imagine my life without Aaron now.
No, he's wonderful. He's a great guy. And then
He's a really wonderful person.
And then I would have never found out about Pacific Plaza. Like that lineup that Alex has kind of curated there is amazing. It's
you
like,
think so? I think it's pretty cool. I love our little family. I'm not gonna lie.
Especially Earthboy Advance is like what he does is crazy.
It's so next level.
His ability to just use his Switch and as an instrument is kind of like bonkers to me.
I know. I remember seeing him do that live for the first time, and just my mind was so blown, and I felt like I'm just a shitty DJ. Like, damn, I just got my DJ mixer and I'm mixing 2 tracks together, and woohoo, guys! Like, and he's like rocking out on the core gap and doing everything himself. I don't know. It was wild. It was wild.
Well, that's absolutely not true. You were an amazing DJ.
Thank you. I think I'm pretty good, but I'm so impressed by people who do anything where you're actually making electronic music live. I've really neglected that part of my artistry, and I'm trying to change that this year. So we'll see.
Ooh.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe a sneak preview.
Yes.
So
sometime soon.
Last time.
Just real quick, howdy, Yoimwano, good to see you.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, hello.
So last time, I don't think last time we spoke like in person together, but like last time I was like interviewing you. You dropped a huge bombshell for my channel, which was great, is that you were working on a second album, even though your first one just debuted.
Had just... Yep.
Is it okay if I ask you how that project is going?
Yeah, because that's actually the one I've been hyping a little bit and hinting at the last few weeks here, because it's very close. I'm aiming for because there's an intro and an outro track that are both pretty short, so I want to have 10 tracks in between there, so 12 total. So a real actual LP this time, y'all. Not
That is-
just not just 6 dinky little tracks, I promise.
Hey, the 20 minutes that you have of Heaven Cry are still very amazing. I'm a very big
I
fan.
appreciate that you're still listening. It means a lot.
But the other thing that we had spoken about in other conversations was you wanting to bring more sort of politics to the scene, because my first interview with you and Alex and Frank were about the politics of vaporwave. And if you want to know more, you can go all watch my video. It's on Psychic Dolphin Garage now. It's on both places, but it's on Psychic Dolphin Garage too. So if you want to check it out, you can. But vaporwave kind of comes from this very like punk rock sort of DIY way of kind of taking, stealing samples and stealing, really expensive software like Ableton and things like that, and chopping and screwing very commercial sounds to make something very extremely non-commercial. And that itself is a political message, but we've kind of said it here on the podcast or amongst Psychic Dolphin Garage members that like being anti-capitalist isn't just enough. And you had mentioned that you were hoping to bring some more political sounds to it, and you even shared with me a track that you were working on that was which is a sex workers' rights track. I don't have that queued up or anything, so don't worry. I'm not going to share that because I also didn't know if that was like okay to share. But like, have you been working on anything more political? I don't know if your next album is necessarily like political, but
So the next album is mainly a concept album that I've been kind of ruminating on for since I started Heaven Cry. Actually, I've had the idea for it. I also, although I am involved with a Discord that was recently created, it's an anti-fascist vaporwave Discord that's called Anticorp, and so someone in there today had the idea to start a music compilation where all of the proceeds will be donated to an organization like Minnesota Freedom Fund or Reclaim the Block or similar organizations that support the efforts of the protesters now. Sorry, I totally forgot where I was going with that. Oh my god. Okay, so they posted about it on Twitter, and I thought it would be a good idea to tag some vaporwave artists that have bigger platforms that are clearly, vocal about what's happening right now and would probably be interested in something like that. And quite a few of them actually responded. So I'm really excited to see where that goes in terms of raising some money.
I'm very excited too, because one of the frustrating things that when I was researching vaporwave was that it was amongst a lot of people kind of apolitical. Like it kind of, I don't think it like hit a mainstream area yet, but there are a few people that I know that won't be mentioned here who maybe are a little too maybe they kind of act a little too above the politics of the genre, but that kind of makes way for things like Fash Wave, which has kind of been a big issue in the scene.
Exactly.
But I'm really glad that there is. I'm actually a member of this collective as well, or this Discord collective. I joined the Discord. Our very good friend Leftist Legume. I believe they were the one who started it, or they're one of the instrumental members.
Yeah, it was them, and then NTSC Vapor.
Okay. And it's not just. So I'm glad to see that there are more people in the genre kind of making waves in the in more political sense, just because it's so ready to be like politicized. The genre is kind of built off of that.
It's really hard to ignore. I mean, it's like, I don't know how people can dispute it. It's just kind of silly to me, especially with your argument of using samples. It's like, come on, you guys. Like, I don't know. Just
right.
Anyway, I'm not gonna rant, but
yeah, I mean, and I was happy to see even some people that I didn't necessarily expect were very vocal. Like, there's a an artist by the name of Glitchenstein, who's been posting pretty nonstop about the protests. And this was even before the protests, but our friend Ugalado over at Picari Sweat in not San Francisco, San Diego, was had a vaporwave video installation in San Diego for Martin Luther King Day, which I thought was super cool. And it was all just,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a lot of remixed protest footage and stuff. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like someone that I didn't necessarily think would have a political message, but I think this is great. I'm glad to hear that this scene is becoming a little bit more politicized, because there's a lot of bad actors in the scene, which is unfortunate.
I know, it's just sad to see people like I saw a couple of people oh, I'm gonna make my profile private and unfollow a bunch of people because I'm tired of seeing all this stuff on my feed, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Right. Can you grow up for a second? But anyway.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate. The one good thing is that Vaporwave is really bad. It just sounds bad.
It's so awful. It's you can't even argue that it's good music. There's just no argument there. It's wonderful.
Right.
Everybody spent, they are very dedicated to making sure that they purchase all of their clips at a fair market value, and the only clip that they purchased is the Imperial March, and it just appears in every song because that's it's what they're about, really.
If the shoe fits, right?
Yeah, if the shoe fits, perfect. But I'm so I'm really happy to hear that things are moving in a little bit more of a political direction, not just with you, because I knew that you would, because I know you. But
we know each other.
Yeah, we know each other. We're good Judies. But I'm happy to see that it's not just you, but all of Pacific Plaza seems to be kind of if not making direct political statements, are at least saying something. Maybe not making direct political art, but they are making their voices heard, which is great.
Yeah, and whenever I'm still finishing up that track, I want it to sound really nice. But the track in support of sex workers and in support of oh my gosh, why am I so bad with remembering names of things? SWAP. Sex Workers Outreach Project is the or End Swap Behind Bars. That's the organization I'm planning on donating any proceeds from that to. I need to figure out the logistics of getting those funds to them, and I want to have it all in place so that it's not, a hassle when I eventually do the release. But that will be through Pacific Plaza, and I'm hoping that will inspire, other artists looking to release art that has some kind of political message to consider Pacific Plaza, because we are super cool with that kind of stuff.
It's great. And I want to ask you just a few more questions, then we can hop out of. Well, we're gonna take a few pictures here because we have to. You just have to.
We must document.
But
okay, go on. Sorry.
I'm gonna ask you a few more questions, and then we can hop on over to your island. You give us a little island tour. But
cool beans.
So you identify both as bisexual and as female, cis, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, didn't want to step on any toes, so I'm just gonna ask.
No, you're all good.
Both Ashley and Zach are bi as well, so they love any
bi
any bi representation.
Yeehaw! Are we all sitting weirdly in chairs right now? I bet we are.
You're so fucked up. I only have one armrest left.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, Zach was gonna buy an ugly Batman chair, but I had to tell him no.
Do not.
Ugly. I bet it was
cute.
Back
here.
It was the only all black. It was the only all black chair that they had that I could get and order that day.
Oh my god. Anyway,
okay.
Along with my questions, so you're a woman in the vaporwave scene, which actually is not as common as you would think.
Yeah.
How does it?
Yeah.
How does it? I mean, and this is the case for literally all music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're a musician of many different genres, but this particular genre though is very female. The aesthetic is very feminine. It's very femme, but
Mhm.
a lot of the people who are making the music are cis, and many of them are
Mhm.
straight. Have you found any sort of like sort of struggles being like a woman in this genre, kind of navigating your way through?
It's been interesting. You know, it's such a unique scene. Like I can't emphasize that enough. With being a house music DJ and with how saturated that music scene is, it was like an everyday thing where I would be like scrolling through my feed and like some DJ in like a similar circle as me would post some misogynistic bullshit or just something ridiculous, and I would be like, oh good, another person I have to fucking block. Like, you know, it's like I'm probably gonna see this person at parties, you know. So it was a lot more when I was involved in that scene. I felt a lot more of, like, I guess a sexist air kind of. It's just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And in vaporwave, I mean, this is probably attributed to the fact that not a lot of it is IRL. Most of it is online. But I have, and because it is a much smaller, more niche music community, I have less of those feelings, but they do certainly still exist. And it just is a little bit, it can be isolating for sure. But I mean, if it's isolating for me, like I can't even imagine, like, for like non-binary producers or like, you know, other queer people in the scene. It's just it's weird, and it's not necessarily that I feel like I'm being harassed or creeped on or whatever, because I really like, I'm very pleasantly surprised at how little that's happened, to be honest with you. But
It's a
like,
shame that it's happened at all, but
it is, but it's like, you know, I'm just, it's like you just expect it. I don't know. People are fucking weird.
I know.
But-
I hate that you have to expect it though. This is so gross.
I know. I appreciate that. but like, you know, it's more just like the idea that if I were to be like, hey, I feel like there's inequality here, like it would be a tough conversation to have, you know. While it's not like while it's not presented on the surface, I think under the surface, like, people are kind of like, everything's fine, but it's like, look at the ratios here. People, like, maybe we should encourage more women in the scene to make music, because I'm sure that a lot of them want to, but just don't know how, you know, like, don't
Right.
have the resources, like, have never been told what to do.
Mhm.
Like, that's always been my experience, is like, I have in my music career in general, like, a lot of women will come to me and be like, hey, like, you know, how did you do this? And like, I know there's not a lot of women in the scene, like, what do I do? And it's like, so it's really that simple. And I actually, there's an interview that's going to come out soon with the Virtual House. It's a experimental music zine that we have in Southern California, and it's also online. There's an interview that's going to come out with them soon where I talk about what representation actually looks like, because, you know, you can talk about it all day long and like virtue signal about it, but it's like, what are you really doing to improve issues in like gender and sexual representation? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
are you actually telling, like, your woman friends and your like non-binary friends, like, hey, these are resources you can use to be creative and to do these things that you want to do, you know? And I don't know, I'm ranting super hard.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry. But,
you're doing fine. Like, it's totally cool.
but yeah, those are my thoughts. It's like, I see the disparity of, and I see the imbalance, and to me, it just says to me that people in this scene that are not straight cis men have not been encouraged enough, and like have definitely been burned by past experiences on the subreddit, you know, with like, it's just that's why I didn't join the scene for such a long time, was because I really did think, you know, oh my god, it's just a bunch of Nazis. Like, obviously not, but
Right.
you know, like, when that Vice article came out, I was like, oh no, I can't do this. But, you know,
Yeah, you found your way into like a really cool
I did.
really cool niche with Alex over at Pacific.
I feel really lucky also, because you know, not everybody has that infrastructure of a local music scene that they can just go jump into when they feel like it. You know, being in Southern California has been a privilege in that sense, for sure.
Mhm. Oh no, it looks like there was a connection issue and you
Oh
silently
shit.
left.
Oh no. Oh no.
You're fine.
Oh no,
you're
my
fine.
switch turned off.
You're fine. You're fine.
Mm.
On the beach. There you are.
There I am. Here we go.
Woo!
All right.
I'm back.
So I do have one. I do have one final question, but I have to open it with not a question. So
Okay.
I've been like really anticipating this because like I've been wanting to hang out for a long time because we'd hang out like once a month. That'd be really cool. But
Right.
we haven't been able to do that. So I don't know. I was really anticipating this. It must have just been on my mind, and so I had a dream that you did a DJ set in Animal Crossing, but it wasn't just any regular DJ set. It was a DJ set for Electronicon 3 or 4 or whatever it might be.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So I gotta ask. I know that you know George Clanton. Is there any chance of you getting on Electronicon 3 or 4 or whatever the one in the future?
So as far as I know, there's no plans yet for a 3. You know, when we talked at the after party, he mentioned wanting to throw a lot more local shows around LA. Like smaller shows more regularly than the actual festival itself. And, you know, now that we are in the times that we're in, I have no idea when live music is going to be a thing again. So hopefully he'll be able to start that back up again. And, I mean, you know, like, I thought I'd try to work my way onto one of those nights somehow. Be like, hey, George, come on.
I mean,
just book me.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that you should do it in Animal Crossing, but I'm saying that it would be really cool if you did do it in Animal Crossing, since you are already an anonymous DJ.
Did you see the Vaporspace online stream? And because Wizard of Loneliness, another vaporwave artist, did part of his set in Animal Crossing for that. It was
Awesome.
freaking sick. It was so sick. I'll try and find the VOD and I'll send it to you.
That's so cool.
But I think that we're gonna start seeing more people do that.
I mean,
honestly.
I mean, like 100 Gex did that whole like concert, like music festival, basically in Minecraft, and
I was at
Right.
that. That was insane.
no
Was
one.
it?
Yeah, I mean, like everyone was like Charlie XCX was on there too. I think Slater as well.
That's amazing.
Who we saw at Electronicon.
Yes.
That was really cool. But
Oh, I stood a foot away from her at the after party while she was talking, and I was just like, I am not worthy.
she not only gave me a hug, but she also she forgot to t-shirt cannon a t-shirt, so she gave it to me.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. That's
Uh-huh.
awesome.
It's so cool. But
Yep. Queen.
yes, queen. But like, no one cares about Minecraft anymore. Sorry, Zach.
Oof.
Time to shut the server down. That's it.
Everybody go home. Oh
But-
wait, we're already home, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I'm just floating the idea, bias. And if you do something in Animal Crossing, I will take credit.
I will
for it.
credit you. I was gonna say.
Actually, I have a feeling Earthboy Advance might do something in Animal Crossing before.
Oh, good point.
He's like really on that Animal Crossing remix train.
Yes, he is. Me and him were so hyped for the game to come out. We would talk about it at every virtual memory. It was so funny.
I know. And now you have Paper Mario to do.
Oh, I'm so excited! Oh my god,
know,
I'm
it
gonna freak out.
It looks really cool too. So
It does. It actually looks good. I'm so impressed.
All right, so let's take a few photos here in front of your
Yay!
big old virtual memory.
Okay, let me do this. Oh my god, you're so cute.
Yeah, this is my most vapor.
Look at
look.
that. Oh, it's so good. Here we go. Joy. This is my favorite one. Boop. I love it. Oh wait, let me get my actual camera out and then we'll do it. Okay. I gotta put a filter on
Do like post-processing
Okay.
filter.
it. Yeah. Okay, and then I gotta do.
Oh, we're in sync too. Yes, I love it.
Oh my god, I love it. That's so good.
And do
So
video.
cute. Oh, it's perfect.
Yes, I love it. But oh yeah,
Okay.
and if anyone wants the QR codes for the Heaven Cry, I even have the small sized one. I'll go ahead and post those up on Twitter.
Hayo
Perfect.
Moano said, I've got Celeste on my island if any of y'all want to drop by for a DIY something.
Oh,
That's their.
Oh, that's their Dodo code.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely drop on by after the interview because DATAGIRL needs to eat. I'm so sorry.
Yes,
I'm like,
this is true. No, it's
I
okay.
only talk to you in real life.
I know. No, it sucks.
It's
I miss
like,
you, dude.
Isn't it like I feel like everyone does that to you though.
You know, it's.
But also, it's because we only ever see you in real life.
No, it's true. I don't blame you, and it's also it's the most basic name in the entire world. Like no one's gonna know. So, whatever.
You're not even the first one we've had on this stream, so like.
Exactly. You know, I'm sure. I would not doubt that.
You're also like the fifth one that I know.
I know. It's just it's a ridiculous name. It's just ridiculous. Anyway.
But DATAGIRL, now that's a real name.
Now that, yep, just gonna change my birth certificate. That's, yep,
I
here
mean,
we go.
people have done stranger things.
It's true. They have.
Actually, if anyone wants any of these QR codes, I do have them saved on my computer. I'm just gonna go ahead and upload them later. The Heaven Cry one was like really cool. I was very proud of this one.
It's so good. I love it.
Although you can only see the words Heaven Cry in the dark. I gotta
Oh, that's cool. You actually can see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just figured it.
I think it's just too bright.
I just figured it wasn't good enough to pick it up.
Oh no.
That's
And
interesting.
you made the album art too, right?
Yes, I did.
Look at that. Multi-hyphenate.
Look at it.
Alright, let's head on over to your island.
Yay! Okay, cool. Boop, boop. Oh god, I still have my camera open.